What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Real Sports Odds Podcast. We're sorry we missed you last week, but we're back. Episode 39. I'm David. He's Matt. Let's go. How you doing, Matt?
Nah, that's all good. Yeah, doing good. Doing very good, mate. Yeah, just been very hectic, as I'm sure you are as well. Got a lot of stuff to sort of prep for my big trip that I'm sure we'll mention more in the podcast later.
Come on.
What about you, though,
Yeah.
David?
I moved this past weekend.
Oh,
And
back to Canada?
Yeah, I'm back in Canada. No, I'm not. I'm just in Shepshed, which is just outside Loughborough. I know Big Hayden bought a house, or bought a flat, and his new flat's just not quite big enough for two people. So he said, not sure about that. No. Nah, so I moved out to Shepshed, which is just outside of Loughborough, with another PhD student, and we're out here till October, and then we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's not too bad. But
Big money deals.
Big money deals. I thought, like, I knew the move was coming, you know, and I thought I had a lot of time, and then all of a sudden, things changed, and then I was like, oh, I only have 2 weekends. And then something came up that I'm not here this coming weekend. So the only weekend I could do it was last weekend. And it was like, oh, I have to move in like 3 days. So it was a little hectic, moved everything. That went fine. But then just like moved Sunday. And then Monday morning, it was like lab day all day. Yesterday and today, like working all day. Tomorrow I'm in the lab for like 12 hours as well. So I've just had no time.
You're talking about labs and stuff, and it brings me back to my lecture days where I'm getting a bit tired. No,
not enough.
Lab brings a lot of data, I can't lie. Which is hectic.
Yes.
I love a bit of data.
Yeah. So it's been good, but I just have had no time to like put anything away or sort out the flat. So man, it's an absolute disaster in here at the minute. And luckily, who I've moved in with, he's gone for a month. So I don't feel too bad.
Not too bad then, eh?
Yeah, but it's a good thing because it's actually embarrassing how out of order this place is at the minute. But oh well, anyway, is what it is. But before we go too far, we're matching today. Got the old matching t-shirts on, CNP. We are officially CNP athletes, which is awesome. Doesn't give us any more physical ability than we've had before. But
yeah, well, I am quite much stronger, actually.
Quite much stronger, yeah. But we are working with them, which has been awesome till now, and I think it's continuing. We're going to continue to be great. So, on that note, have you gotten the new shakers from them? You did, didn't you? You got the white one?
I think so. I think I have. Oh, this one. Yeah, I have.
They're sick. Have you used it yet?
On contrary belief, this is not me just ingesting my own urine. Sorry, I forgot the mic. This is the loaded EAAs I got from CMP. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. What flavor did you get from them? From the loaded EAAs?
I got it's lemon Fanta essentially. But I love their little names. I was just checking what Fanta.
I got a few bits. I got one of their duffel bags.
Fantasy lemon. Sorry, found it. Fantasy lemon. Yeah, carry on.
Is it Fanta C or fantasy? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it Fanta and then a C?
Fantasy. One word, like dreaming. Enchanted.
Yeah. Enchanted. Yeah, nice. I got their duffel bag, their big black CMP duffel bag, which I'm really excited to use this weekend because it's actually like quite big, which is nice. Like the one that I have now, the Nike one, it's good, but sometimes it's just a little bit too small. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm excited to use that. Ooh, and then I got as well this like the recovery drink, and I'm really excited to try that out as well. I got strawberry, which is a bit rogue for me. Usually I go just chocolate, but see how it is. Anyways, I got their
Yeah.
loaded ISO clear collagen protein powder squishies. I love their loaded ISO, so I'm excited to try this one. Um, how many calories? How much sugar? How many calories? How much fat? How many
150
protein?
calories. 150 calories. Um, oh, it's been a while. 150 calories, no fat, no carbs, no sugar. 24 grams per scoop. Am I right in saying 24 grams?
Yeah, I think it like I
Yeah,
think
that's
it
all I can
varies,
remember.
but it's usually like 24 or 25, I think. Especially now that it's pretty like it's hot, you don't want to be drinking heavy whey all the time, but this stuff is absolutely
Mm.
unbelievable. Right. Um Speaking of not being able to be here while I shake this bad boy up. Realize that I probably shouldn't talk while shaking it.
Nice little ASMR.
uh Going to Poland this weekend.
Whereabouts?
Sopot, which is just outside of Gdansk.
How come you're going there?
Good question. Tilly is competing in a street vault out there.
Oh,
And
nice.
so
Street
are
vault.
yeah, so are a couple other pole vaulters. So we're all driving. We have to we're flying out of Luton at 8:30 in the morning on Friday morning.
Yes, yes.
Uh which means we have to leave Loughborough at like 5 a.m. or something silly like that. Um
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but listen to
Um,
this. This is sick. Street vault. So once in a while they do like street events where they set up something like either in the city or like on the street, and it's all like raised runs. So it's usually like sometimes 100-meter sprints or like long jump or pole vault. So they set up the bed like in the city or somewhere, and then
bloody
a
hell.
build a runway to it. So this one is in Sopot, like I just said, just outside of Gdansk, which is on the north coast of Poland. I think it's the Baltic Sea up there. Um, Anyways, and there's this, and Sopot has this like gorgeous pier. I think I was reading it's the longest wood pier in Europe. The only longer one is in the UK somewhere, but I forget where. Anyway, so there's this massive pier, and then just before the pier, there's like this big like walkway and park and whatever. And so they set and like this strip, and so they set the bed right there, and then you're running away
Okay.
from the ocean, but like right next to the ocean. So it's gonna be
That's
sick.
mental.
Yeah.
I thought it
How
could have
cool
been
is that?
like street football where everyone's like, it's like a free for all. Everyone's trying to get over the one pole first. I thought that would be quite cool. That's my idea of how to
Just
make the
like all
sport a bit more
fighting each
fun.
other.
Just 8 of them just sprinting down this one strip, trying to all go at once. That's a good
It's
sport
like
if you
a
don't
mix
mind me saying.
between pole vault and jousting.
Yeah, yeah. All
Oh
coming
man,
from different
imagine
sides as
that.
well.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine that. Like one bed over here, one bed here. So they're like running opposite directions towards. You're running. You just go like, well,
Yeah, just
that'd be mental.
headbutt them.
That'd be insane.
But yeah, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what.
So what?
Yeah, nothing. I won't tell you anything. Carry on. Yeah, yeah. So how long are you out there for?
Nah, only a couple days. We fly out Friday morning and we're back Sunday night. So it's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be long, and then Monday right back to work. So, but it is what it is. It's
Oh,
gonna be
jeez.
fun. I'm excited
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
still gonna be a class little experience. Yeah, 100%. That's all right.
Yeah, yeah. You
Nice for
were away
some.
though as well, weren't you? You just went away a couple days.
I went to Bournemouth, David. Um, Not too
It's not
hectic,
Kent.
just down south. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But yeah, I went to Bournemouth with a couple of friends. Um, and that's about it. But I will be going for longer, so I'll be sad to say bye to David. And we'll be doing podcasts at ridiculous times right now. So where I'm going, this is little bit of a general knowledge for you lot if you want to try. So right now the time is 9 in the morning on Thursday, and we're filming this on a Wednesday. So you guys, I'll give you 5 seconds to work out where I'm going. I'm going to New Zealand. Um,
Boom! That's actually
Auckland.
so sick, isn't it?
Yeah, so I leave 15th of July and then I'm back on the 28th of October. I should be back on the 20th of October. We're not sure. But no, I'll be back on 20th of October, and I'm going 3 months, and I'm spending it with Waikato Chiefs for their Bunnings NPC season. And it's going to be mental. Like I'll be traveling all across New Zealand with them, spending, just an internship. The guy I'm working with is currently the S&C coach for the under 20 All Blacks. It's going to be an immense
Unreal. The Chiefs,
opportunity.
isn't that who Seb worked for as well?
Yeah,
Is that how you got a little
yeah.
nice?
Seb sorted me out. Yeah, so
That's
yeah.
unreal. But that's what you need, those connections, don't you? Like now you're
Oh,
gonna go
100%.
down there, go to New Zealand for what, July, like 3-4 months, be able to
Yeah,
intern under the strength and conditioning coach. It's unbelievable. And so he's
even
the head
better.
strength and conditioning coach for the All Blacks under 20s.
Not just one of the strength and conditioning coaches,
Oh, one of them there.
but he's
But you're
head
going
of
to be
performance at the Waikato Chiefs. Yeah, so he gets back once I arrive from the World Cup.
right, man. That's unbelievable. You're going to make
So that's
so
gonna be
many
amazing.
sick connections there, aren't you?
I'll be wearing this. I'll be showing everyone CMP, just flying the CMP flag out in New Zealand,
Yeah,
and also telling everyone
they
about how
stalk
amazing
someone.
our listeners are.
Yeah, someone stalks CNP out there. I just saw there was a question that came up in just a little bit ago, and it's like one of the athletes there was asking if anyone stalks CNP in. Oh no, that's Australia.
Yeah.
That's a
Mate,
rookie
I
mistake.
could be the little middleman, just ship it across.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah.
yeah, no, hopefully I'll get a couple of the lads on the podcast as well, a couple of coaches, and we'll see. But yeah, exciting things. I've even bought a GoPro, right? Invested in a GoPro, so I'll bring the podcast Instagram some lovely bit of reels, maybe game
Oh
week
yeah,
1, game week 3, little away game days. We'll see it up
yeah,
and close
yeah.
and personal. Um,
Day of the life of just an absolute legend in New
Good
Zealand.
day in the life. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
That's so sick. How
Um,
long's that been in the pipeline for?
been working it out for a bit, trying to find accommodation, trying to actually buy the flights and sort it out logistically with work.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been happening. Been trying to organize it since February.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
What are you like? What are you most excited about? Do you think?
Oh, just there's so many different parts. Like just to experience what an elite setup is like, as well as how they combat some issues I've experienced in the lower leagues in a way.
Okay, like
So
what?
uh, like say player availability. So during a
Hmm.
season, a lot of players get injured so quickly, and I want to see if they experience the same issues, and if so, how they combat that. Another one I'd love to know is how they use their data to monitor each week, day in, day out. Like so, we train at TJ's. We train Tuesdays and Thursdays, play Saturdays. So there's not a lot of manipulation you can do in terms of trying to decrease their workload. Also, they're semi-professional, so they're doing other things. They're working other jobs. Whereas over there, it's fully professional and they train more frequently. So there's a lot of different things you can manipulate. And I want to see how they use their acute chronic workload ratio to their advantage, essentially. So those are
Hmm.
like two little ones.
I wonder what it's like. I had a conversation with this guy who we're going to get on the podcast. Actually, Patty is his name. He's a PhD student at Loughborough. He's in his second/third year, um, and he also is a coach for the Elite Lightning cycling team. And we were talking. We just caught up over coffee the last week. And have you seen the new Netflix series, uh, Tour de France
I want to
Unchained?
watch it. Yeah, I want to watch it.
You already
Is it
knew what I
good?
was gonna ask
Yeah.
before it even came out, dude. It is unbelievable. It is so good. Honestly, I was at my girlfriend's house and we were like, let's just toss something up on Netflix. And I saw that and I was like, oh, can we watch this? Like this looks sick. And she was like,
Yeah.
nah, like looks average, fine. Like toss it on, right? She was hooked immediately. Wouldn't
Mate.
stop talking about it, but to be fair, I couldn't stop talking about it either. I'm still talking about it. It is
Yeah.
unbelievable. Um, it's like F1, but I think what I like better about this one is it feels more personable, like personal. It feels more personal, like you're in on the action because they've got like
Yeah,
all the mics, not the mics. Oh my goodness, all the cameras like on the bikes. They got like
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you're in on the action. It's nuts. It's actually crazy.
that's
Anyways,
decent. I'll definitely give it a watch.
oh yeah, 8 episodes. Anyone who hasn't, watch it. If you've watched it, let us know what you think. If you thought it was unbelievable like I did, or maybe you didn't. But anyways, Patty was talking because he watched it and he thought it was really interesting to see that problems that he's facing at the like, I don't want to say sub elite level, but not the highest level possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because the Lightning are a professional cycling squad, but he said it was interesting to see that issues he faces at that level, that the people riding at the highest levels are facing as well. Like they're the same issues that
yeah,
he saw come in that series that he's been facing this year as a coach in his squad. And so it'd be interesting to see like what similarities even there are between the issues that they face, or what different issues arise because of like the professional nature. Because I think a lot of times we think like, oh, up at the top they have everything they need, like there's no issues, they've
yeah,
got everything, they got the sickest setup, everything's like running perfectly. But just be interesting to see, like, obviously how do they deal with it, how is it better, but also like what other challenges come up because of the situation that they're in.
yeah. No, I mean, I'll definitely give it a watch. It's on my list of things. I've got so many things to watch. There's a tennis one. I think it's called Breaking Point. I don't know.
Breaking
I
Point,
want to watch
just
that.
started watching
There you
that.
go. I want to watch Arnold. I want to watch that
Mm.
one you just mentioned. There's a lot of things that I want to watch. I want to watch the latest episodes of the RSS because they're even better and they're banging and amazing. I got so many things to watch, and I've just not got a lot of time. So, no,
I know.
it's quite interesting. And speaking of like not a lot of time, I mean, you mentioned something earlier before we hopped on. How the bloody hell do we manage time, especially trying to
Yeah,
train? And that's
yeah,
something,
yeah.
funny enough, you mentioned that. Something I experienced today, legs. David knows I'm an avid lover of legs. But legs hits, and I'll tell you what, there's two different sessions and scenarios. First session, no one was in the gym. It was just me controlling my music. I had
Posh.
Thunderstruck going, and I was hitting PBs, and I was like, "This is a session!" Woo! Screaming to myself. I was like having in my own little world, and it was the best session ever. Today comes, I'm going in there, already not feeling it, a little bit tired. And once that mindset goes, I'm like, I've got other things I need to sort out. Do I have time? In the end, it was a good session, but I had to break it up, microdosed it. So S&C term, so it's fine in the end. But no, it
Sounds
was long.
bad. No worry about it. Yeah, it is tough. I've been struggling lately just to get to the gym. One, time wise, um, just like how, like finding how it fits realistically in my schedule. I think, like, like when I did my masters, and between my masters and my
Any
PhD, I had so much time to
stop?
train.
Yeah. Sorry, sorry,
There's a dog there.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Any? What you doing? Good.
Oh yeah,
Relax.
official mascot of the RSS. Come
Any,
on.
you're not an athlete. You're not an athlete. Relax, Any. Come on.
Doesn't have a
Stop. Where's
shirt.
your athlete
So
t-shirt?
we'll have to get John on and get a dog size shirt. um, yeah, like one, having the time, and man, it's been difficult because in my masters and like between my masters and my PhD, I had so much more time. Like I was way more flexible. Not that I'm not flexible now, but I'm just way more busy. And so like I was going to the
Yeah.
gym 6 days a week, sometimes twice a day. Like I was in really good shape. I was feeling good. And then now, like starting the PhD, obviously doing the podcast and just other things that come up is difficult. And I haven't been able to go 6 times a week, and definitely not twice a day. and I've struggled, I think, sometimes like trying to hold on to what I was doing before the PhD, but then realizing like I just can't, and like I need to shift my priorities. And so it's been pretty difficult actually, like finding where training fits and how does it fit. Like I'm not going to CrossFit nearly as much, which is sad, but also like also frees up time to like go play tennis or do other things that I enjoy. And so I'm trying to like find out, one, like what do I actually really enjoy doing at the gym training wise, and how does it like realistically fit into my schedule where I'm not like burning out, and not burning out physically, but just like having too much on my plate where I'm running wild all day every day. It's been pretty difficult, and I found like it really really hard to motivate myself to go to the gym, because when I have a minute and it's time to go to the gym now, I'm just tired and I just want to not do anything. Like I just want to sit
Yeah,
and relax and not do anything and just go on my phone or just go to bed. Um, yeah, so it's been tough actually.
like I think a big thing you mentioned, even like we experience this with the podcast right now. It's this podcast isn't just sit down and whack on the camera and let's get talking. A lot of them are pretty planned, and we've got to fit it around our busy schedules with guests, especially. And although we'd love to do it all the same way with what we did with Jake, it, we had to pay a bit, and then we had to go, even like you had to travel down, which cost money and which costs a lot of time as well.
Mm.
So that, like, I don't think I trained on that day because I was too busy sorting that stuff out. And I don't know about you, but like, this is quite hectic. So this is a big chunk now, and it's something we're finding difficult to maintain on some parts. And we would put this at our priority, and if we're struggling with that, something like staying fit, which even though it brings all these health benefits and all this, it's still hard. But I think the key thing there is to find different methods. If we're talking solely on a gym sort of or on a health and fitness sort of side of things, say if you said a perfect thing. So like I've stopped going CrossFit, but I'm still playing tennis. Like, that's still fitness. That's probably still going to be as hard if you're doing it. Do you know what I mean? So like, yeah, you're not doing
Chasing
CrossFit, but you're
after all
doing
my
something that
balls.
there you go.
Yeah, climbing
Classic David.
climbing bro.
Nice.
Just
But yeah,
climbing
no,
over the
like,
fence every time I serve. No, but it's true. I think it's I think it's tough because obviously you always like if you compare yourself to yourself, you know, you always compare yourself to when you were in the best shape of your life.
mm,
Like you don't compare yourself to kind of when you're average. So now I'm like I'm actually like fine. You know, you always compare yourself to like when you were at the top of your game. So for me, I think of like after my masters up until the new year. So there was like probably from like July when I was working on my dissertation all the way up until like the next January or something. Like I was going to CrossFit like 6 days a week, twice a day, probably 3 of those days. And I like
Jesus.
and I look back at like the shape I was in that December. Like I was ripped, like compared to what I've been or what I am now, right? And I look back and like, so I compare myself to that, but I don't when I'm just in that mindset of like, um, comparing and comparing myself and kind of being down. I don't think about like, oh, but David, you all like you literally weren't doing anything except working on your masters, or you only have this one job at a coffee shop. You were in the gym like 10 days a week going hard, right? Like you never think of that. You just think that is where I was then, this is where
Yeah.
am now. I don't have time to train, or if I have time, I'm exhausted, I'm not motivated, I'm not really enjoying it that much. This sucks, you know?
No, 100%. And yeah, but I also like, see, like I get that. And yeah, you got to also take in all the factors when doing that. But I also like that slight comparison, because sometimes it is good to kick yourself in gear. Like I think let's not not us, but like, say people listening, I don't want them to be like, find that as an excuse, like, oh yeah, but look what I'm doing
Mm,
now. We're saying, yeah, you're doing stuff now, and we can't fit it in. Like, I know you, David. I know you're not like, oh, I'm working so hard, I can't go to the gym because I've got to do this as well. I know you're working, you're sorting out all this data, you're doing a lot of stuff, and that you are staying true to yourself. We're not saying like, yeah, just use it as an
right.
excuse. We're saying, yeah, when you're
We're
bloody
not we're
busy,
not
you can't
doing
do it. But
nothing still and just
yeah,
also not
and just
training.
saying,
Yeah.
oh, we had a big day at work, but we worked 3 hours. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's just
Yeah.
finding that happy medium in between that, because you don't want to. It is good to compare yourself, because you could slip through the cracks and realize, oh crap, when did I get all this belly? When did I get this belly? And then you're
Yeah.
like, crap.
It's tough. I think it's just a
It's
matter of
difficult.
I, I had a chat with another guy yesterday just about it. Not this directly, but kind of similar stuff. And he said, "Well, it just like priorities change." And
Hmm.
and that's so true. And I think it's hard to accept that. Like, I would love to be able to be super motivated and go to the gym twice a day and be in really, really good shape. I think it's difficult, especially coming from like athletic background, Like, you want to be in good shape, you know what I mean? And it's difficult then to like put the brakes on that, because naturally you're not going to be in as good shape because you're not training as much, right? So that part will decrease. But but I think it's like sometimes you have to say, like, right now I don't have just X as a priority. I have X, Y, and Z as a priority, and then training needs to fit around that, because that is also a priority, but it's just not as important
Hmm.
as, my job or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? So it's just about, I guess, like prioritizing it, understanding where your priorities are, like where does training fit into that, and then, like you said, like maybe then kicking yourself in the butt and be like, hey, is being in shape actually a priority? Am I willing to get up a little bit earlier, in a sustainable manner? Because I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I'll get up at 5 a.m. every morning to work out because I just want to be fit. Like, that's silly. That's not
Yeah.
sustainable. But am I willing to be like, hey, actually, these are the like 4 days a week that I can actually train. I'm gonna commit to these 4 days a week because I know that in my schedule and all the other priorities that I have, this is what could fit. You know,
Yeah.
but it's just
And I
it's
think
just tough.
one message I could definitely like take from that is essentially priorities. Yeah, like that's amazing. I'd say find out what your priorities are. If your own priorities, right? So like, I'm
Mm,
not saying like, oh, there's like someone saying, oh, you put on or like, oh, you're not as strong as you were before. Yeah, but I don't care being about as strong as I was before. I'm literally sorting this out because I've got
mm,
this degree that I want to accomplish. That's cool. You sorted out your priorities. That's where you got to align your time. And then in the future, you can sort that out. If you have no time for it, or if you think it's a detriment to you and your
yeah.
goals right now, then don't do it, because you should
Mm,
complete those goals you set out yourself, instead of trying to worry about what other people's priorities are for yourself, or worry about other people's
mm,
opinions, or even worry about too many things. Do one thing great instead of 10 things mediocre.
yeah. Who said that?
What, to an extent. Huh?
Yeah. Who I
Um,
that somebody recently has said that.
I don't know.
Was
To be
it
fair, people have compared me
was it
to
Church? Was it
Gandhi.
Church? We were talking because it's
Oh yeah,
decathlete.
yeah.
Was
It
it
was him.
Lewis?
Yeah.
Did he
Oh,
say that?
hopefully not, because then
That
I
feels
would have
like
just.
that was
Yeah,
ages ago.
it does actually. Jesus. David and
It
I
was
just want to
literally
sleep and
last episode.
we just want to sleep and just
Yeah, we
hit
need.
10 podcasts tomorrow.
Oh
Bang
yeah,
it out.
yeah. And even this, like it's like obviously this is a huge priority. So it's like, okay, well, how can we fit this in a way that works for both of us, but
Hmm.
also in a way where like it's sustainable and we can keep doing it and we can keep having fun. Because the last thing we want is like to get sick of this just because we're trying to do it or we're trying to do too much. You know what I mean?
Ideally, we'd want to have our own videographer and editor, right? And then we'd ideally want to. Well, actually, I don't. Well, and ideally, we'd love to have those
Yeah,
brand spanking new mics and little Rode mics, so then we can attach it and walk around and just do all our fun ideas. But no,
yeah,
we don't, because we haven't got like billions, and we also don't have. Even if we did have all this equipment, what would we do with it? We don't have the time. So we need to
Yeah.
get to a happy balance medium where we are being as consistent as possible and then building up from there. So instead of
Mm,
just jumping 0 to 100%, we're going on small little increments, like 2%
mm,
each time. Once we feel comfortable with that 2%, then we'll go 5%. Then comfortable
yeah.
at 5, then we go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Essentially, what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is podcast is like weight training, and right now we're trying to get swollen podcasting.
We are. We are. We're hitting the creatine hard on the podcast.
Might have to do some PEDs, David. Might have to. Might have to.
No. That's
EPO.
funny. I was gonna mention something else, but I've totally forgotten about it. It came to my head, to my mind, and now it's gone, which is really annoying. We're gonna have to get you in the lab sometime. We'll have to get you into one of my studies that I'm doing
Uh,
at some
gen-
point when you're back.
genetic freak. That's all. Done. You'll be like this.
I
What?
got
We've never
one. My
seen limbs
second,
move this
my
weird.
second study is good. My second study is going to be a fun one. It's going to have like a lot of stims, like electrical stimulations of your tibial nerve.
Oh, okay. Just dotted around all the body. No, just okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So that'll be a fun one, and I'll be starting that one like about the time when you're back. So
Oh, awesome.
good time.
There you go. As soon
Good
as I
time.
land, you're already prodding me up with all these stims. Okay, sick.
I'll be
Just
there
running
like
on
with the
sleep.
sign, when you come out of the airport into like the main terminal bit, and there's all the people with the signs. It'll just be there, or you'll walk out and I'll just pull up in like a white van. Door slides open, 4 guys, balaclavas, both my supervisors. Get in. Just kidnap
Dragged
you
into the van.
straight into the lab.
Where
Yeah.
am I? Where am I?
Yeah. Yeah.
You gonna help
Oh,
me?
it's really bugging me though. What I was gonna say, I should have written it down. Yeah, but I think that's the biggest thing that I've struggled with consistently
Yeah.
since starting the PhD is just like, I guess it's just my own expectations of training, and I know how motivated I was or how motivated I usually am. So I think I struggle when I go through times of low motivation. I'm like, why are you like usually you're so motivated, like getting up super early to go to the gym, and now I can't motivate myself to go to the gym that's right there across, like I can see the entrance of the gym from my desk for an hour at lunch, so I think that's what the most that I struggle with at the minute, and just like being okay with like shifting my priorities in my head.
So should we try go 2 top tips for the end as a summary? 2 top tips that we can just muster, 1 tip each.
You go first then.
Right. You go. You go. What's your top tip?
Going to the dog.
No? Okay. Drink
Top
CMP.
tip from the dog.
Ah, CMP.
Yeah, that's right.
Ernie said CMP. Nah. My top tip would be to write a list of your priorities at this current moment. Write your priorities, then write your goals next to it. Put a timeline towards it. I'm just nicking smart goals. Nah, put a timeline, but like just figure out what your priorities are and get someone close to you to keep you in track. So I've got my good friend who was on this podcast, Ewan. He'll let me know if I slip through the cracks or just like get through if I'm just not staying true to myself. So if I say, look, I'm going to do this and this and this, he'll be able to be like, what happened to all this that you were going to do? What's happened? So just have someone to sort of just check up on you, make sure you're doing that because that's important. And we always talk about community on this podcast. So yeah, get a buddy that can help check you on that.
That's what I was gonna say before my thing. I am applying for a job at the university starting in September.
Oh, what job is it?
As a sub-warden.
What?
A sub-warden?
Yeah, so what, you're gonna have to just walk around and make sure no one's messing around?
It's like, so yeah, I'd be a sub-warden of a specific hall, and there's like 4 sub-wardens. And then like you all have shifts, obviously. And it's usually
So good.
like shifts overnight or in the weekend or during
Oh,
the weekend.
good luck. Good luck.
So like if somebody needs help, you might get called. But you get free accommodation and 2 meals a day.
Well, that's all right then.
So
David's just looking for a place to stay. No, I've got an extra bed.
Yeah,
I've got an extra
yeah,
bed if you want to.
yeah. Somebody, please. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, so free accommodation, which includes bills, so like heating, electricity, all that. You have like the downside is you stay like in one of the halls, but they've like created basically they put 2 rooms together and build that room out. So it has like a kitchen. This specific one has like you walk in, there's your bedroom with like an ensuite and the bathroom, and then you have your own kitchen with like a little living room kind of lounge area. So they're like
Yeah.
not there's like small flats that you get to live in, but it's like within the like hall, you know what I mean? So that's a bit
That's
of a
not too
downside.
bad, eh?
But like man, you could like 2 meals a day, which means you're speaking of time, you save money those 2 meals a day. You also save time because you don't have to cook those 2 meals.
So is your top
You
tip
know what I mean?
become a subwarden?
Top tip: become a subwarden. Yeah.
Top tip.
So I'm tossing together an application. I don't know if I'll get
Oh,
it, but
nice.
like you could save like 700-800 pounds a month.
Yeah. Do you want me to be one of your references for this podcast? Because then I can I'll message him saying that look, he's held down the podcast multiple times. I'm sure he can hold back a couple of students. It'll be fine.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, but so that's exciting, but yeah, just looking for another bed really.
Nice.
My top tip, my top tip, what would it be? Yeah, I mean, you just basically listened to what I said, and then just stole my top tip, didn't you?
Huh? What do you mean, David? You said I could go first. That's
You
that's
did.
on you. That's
You
on
did.
you.
I did that. Yeah. You're right. You're right. I think obviously I agree with what you say. Like figure out your priorities, and I would say if like be kind. Don't compare yourself to when you were at your best.
Awesome.
Like
And to end.
if oh no, I don't get a chance to explain. It's like
No.
don't. Yeah, done. You're cut off. See you later.
I was gonna hit it with a quote. I was gonna hit it with a good quote. But yeah, go, carry on. I was gonna hit it with a
No,
really good quote.
yeah, no, just like don't forget why you were in, like specifically speaking about being in shape, don't forget why you were in the best shape of your life whenever that was, you know? And don't just think like I'm not in good shape now. I was in good shape then. This sucks. You know what I mean? And get down. You know, changes happen, priorities change. But
Yeah.
that being said, figure it out and then move on, because I think I got to do that too. Hit me
There
with
you
your
go.
quote, Matt.
You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius.
Nice. Love a Marcus Aurelius quote. We hope you've been enjoying this podcast. If you're looking for a supplement company, head over to CNP Professional because they are unbelievable. Make sure you use RealSport15 for 15% off on checkout. Rep that. Let us know. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on YouTube, we would love to know how did you just smell yourself?
Yeah. After I did that, I was like, "Ooh."
I was like, oh, jeez. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think. Let us know that you're listening or watching, where you're watching from. Get involved on Instagram. We didn't do a way or nay this week, so we'll have to save that for next week because we need to go to sleep because it's 10:30 p.m. Matt, take us out.
This has been the RSS Podcast. We're out.